It's official. 3,000 public sector workers in Barbados are being laid off from January 2014. Confirmation of this in Parliament a short while ago in a ministerial statement from the Finance Minister Chris Sinclair. He says the job cuts will take effect between January 15th and March 1st, 2014. Minister Sinclair says the cuts are designed to help Barbados economically, to accelerate adjustments and fiscal consolidation, as well as return it to growth and investment while protecting the stability of the Barbados dollar. This as he reported that despite the best efforts of government and a good start to the 19 months self-imposed austerity program, the deficit is getting bigger while receipts from VAT and other taxes are declining, and that a $32 million shortfall is expected.
We have estimated that it will affect 3,000 employees across the overall public service, central government and statutory entities. We have agreed that if possible, there should be an even split in the proposed retrenchments between central government and statutory entities, but if not possible, then a split of 2,000 from the general service and 1,000 from the statutory entities would be imposed.
Mr. Sinclair says that from the 1st of January, there will also be a freeze on all increments.
Effective January 1st, 2014, there shall be enforced a freeze on the payment of increments for the next 2 years. Appropriate arrangements will be made for the loss of income to be properly factored into the computation of overall pension benefits. As indicated above, both the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Ministry of Civil Service, including the Personnel Administration Division, have been mandated to continue consultations and negotiations with the workers' representatives to ensure that all appropriate steps are taken to safeguard the rights of all workers affected by these measures and to craft interventions aimed at mitigating the dislocation, which would undoubtedly be caused, including those interested to enter into retraining and redeployment programs in the private sector.
Now joining us live here is our veteran journalist Peter Thorne, who has been watching the situation as it unfolded. He listened to the Finance Minister on the floor of Parliament making the announcement. Peter is going to give us an assessment of that situation.
Well, Shane, thank you very much. I believe we have been hearing it for a while. The opposition has been touting it. Government has been saying, up to this week, earlier you heard from the Prime Minister saying the situation, no concrete decision had been taken, but in a ministerial statement on the floor of the Parliament, the Finance Minister giving confirmation that despite the very best efforts of the Frontal Stewart administration, government has had to bite the bullet. It has to decide, well, basically, what are we going to do going into a new financial year, starting in April 1st, 2014. So the government has decided it's going to bite the bullet, and 3,000 public sector workers are going home. It's a climb down position because basically from what we had heard as journalists, there were proposals to the tune of 5,500 people to go home, basically 4,000 from the central government, 1,500 from statutory bodies. The figure arrived at now is around 3,000. But the striking thing in all of it is that the Finance Minister said that if this decision hasn't been taken, or they don't move now at this point, that basically the parity of the Barbados dollar to the US dollar would be under threat. In effect, Barbados will be facing the threat of devaluation. I myself lived in Jamaica when you had the devaluation of the Jamaica dollar, and that's a very difficult position to get out of. So I believe if Barbados takes the harsh medicine that is needed to restore the economy to growth, despite the ills that it's experiencing at this time, that Barbados ultimately can recover. But if you go the route of a devaluation, that's a much more difficult, painstaking exercise. So we have opted to take the medicine now and hope for recovery in the next 3 years in terms of the Barbados economy.
Now, Peter, we are also hearing about a salary cut, potential salary cut for ministers of government and MPs in Parliament.
Yes, that's been confirmed, a salary cut from ministers, 10% ministers and MPs and what they call political appointees. So basically, a government minister, Shane, would earn about 18,300 roughly when you take in all the perks, so that translates roughly to over $1,830 per month, just under $2,000. So that would be the size of the cut for the minister. There it's to lead by example. They are saying that if the pain is to be instituted, if they are the executive are instituting the pain, that basically they're going to lead by example by taking the pain. This has been touted by the opposition. They say that everybody is part of it, so I don't see how they could exclude themselves. So they have put the proof of the pudding in Barbados. Parlance is in the eating, and they are also feeling the pain and leading by example.
Okay, Peter, and we will continue to follow developments in this regard as they unfold. And we're hearing that the social partnership is at this hour meeting with the National Union of Public Workers to discuss layoffs in the public service. NUPW President Walter Maloney has indicated that last week that the union's General Council had met and outlined measures that could reduce expenditure, boost revenue, and keep workers employed in the public service. Now, Tourism Minister Richard Seeley is telling workers in the industry to brace for tough times ahead. This as he praised the hard work that many of them have been putting in to keep the tourism industry afloat and alive in the current economic climate.
The reality is that when times are tough, who is it that has to bear the brunt of the burden? The workers, who have their weeks cut short, who have to be sent home when things are not going right. First and foremost, it is the workers, the ones that will struggle to pay their bills. It is the workers, and in these difficult times, it's important that we recognize that fact.
His comments came as local tourism officials saluted workers in the industry at the waterside restaurant in St. Lawrence Gap. Minister Seeley also presented staycation packages to those local chefs who were a part of the winning team at this year's regional competition, accepted by Chef Michael Harrison on their behalf. In other news, an ecumenical memorial service honoring the late South African President Nelson Mandela is being held today in Barbados. The service, being hosted by the Barbados Christian Council, will take place tonight at 7 at the St. Patrick's Cathedral on Gemmetts Lane. Prime Minister Frundell Stewart, Bishop of the Catholic Church, the Most Reverend Jason Gordon, along with the Most Reverend Dr. John Holder, the Anglican Bishop, will deliver tributes. The Barbados Community College is rolling out a new set of bachelor's degree programs from next year, September. The revelation has come from the principal of the school, Dr. Gladstone Best, who says his institution is not trying to compete with the University of the West Indies KFIL campus. His comments come as potential first-time UWI students will now have to pay thousands of dollars in tuition fees as part of measures outlined in government's budgetary proposals unveiled in August. Dr. Best says the bachelor's programs will focus on applied areas of study.
UWI has a lot of the traditional academic programs, and it has some of the applied, but it has a lot of the traditional academic program. And we will see in this coming application period what effect that would have on our applicants, because it is only now that we have started to take applications, so we will now be in a position to say, but I wouldn't be able to say that this early.
A brand new mall is set to open in Barbados. It's called The Walk and will be located adjacent to the Cost You Less store at Welch's St. Thomas. Terra Caribbean is behind the shopping center, which will be home to several brand name stores like Payless, Hallmark, Upbeat, and the iMart store. These 4 stores have already made soft openings to capture customers looking for Christmas deals. The developers say The Walk caters to busy customers by offering a wide range of retail opportunities in one convenient location. More stores will be opened shortly, including the Natural Health and Beauty Shop, a full-service bank, and a communications provider. Shops will be opening late every night during the Christmas season. Children's faces beamed brightly with smiles as they received pretty gifts from the Governor-General Sir Elliot Belgrave. The children on the pediatric ward were able to embrace the spirit of the season by the kindness shown to them. Also accompanying the Governor General was the head of the pediatric ward, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Joy St. John, and the CEO of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Dr. Dexter James. All those on the ward were sweetly serenaded by the St. Leonard's Boys Choir with Christmas carols.